站站站，站站站。
Behind the stand. Let's go get the stand.
Relax. Hey. Don't push. Don't push. Don't push.
Stop.
Get up.
It's on the outside, I promise. It's on the outside, honey.
That's an AR. That's an AR.
Holy fuck, this girl just got shot in the fucking head. It's so fucking crazy. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get down.
Stop!
I need to take a video.
No,
You're good.
Fucking fake gunshot.
Everybody
Hey,
damn it.
He's down.
Everybody's down.
Let's go!
Babe, you're okay. I promise.
I'm leaving
We
my
can't. We
home.
can't go yet. So we can't go yet.
Austin!
The last couple of hours that the number of people killed has gone up to more than 50 after a man in a Mandalay Bay hotel room started shooting at people at an outdoor country music festival. You can hear the rapid fire of those bullets in this video posted on Twitter. It took people a few seconds to figure out what that was. About 10 seconds later, the music stops, and then you start to see the people right there running for cover. About 40 seconds later, that gunfire starts again. We do have team coverage for you on this. Renee Nelson in the 10 News Live Center. We also have two reporters covering how this is impacting local officers as well as local flights.
But first, here's what we know overnight in the very latest about the shooting. The sheriff says at least 50 people were killed. And now we know the number of injured is 400 people taken to local hospitals. The sheriff says he believes the suspect killed himself before officers entered his room, and a companion of his that they were looking to question has been found.
Police say the shooter is Stephen Paddock, 64 years old. He lives in Mesquite, Nevada, about 80 miles north of Vegas. They call him a lone wolf attacker. They say he opened fire from here, the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel. And you can see what kind of vantage point that would give him, because the concert was happening right over here across the street on the Vegas Strip. One concert goer named Mike is an example of the heroes at work here. He's a retired teacher who was on a birthday trip. He says he rushed to get to his friend, help him after he was shot. He also helped load other victims into ambulances. Now, when we first heard from him, he wasn't wearing a shirt because he used it to help stop somebody's bleeding.
My buddy's like, I just got hit, and got hit 3 times, and then people started diving for the ground, and it just continued, and it was pretty much chaotic.
I am no hero, but there is tons of heroes out there.
Well, he is definitely one of many. Mike's friends, by the way, will be okay, but one of the people he tried to help died in his arms.
So many heroes there helping people, and that's because countless first responders were there attending this concert. And now we know this morning at least one off-duty police officer was killed in this shooting.
Now, San Diego police say they had close to 20 off-duty officers at that music festival at the time. 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala joining us live outside STPD headquarters. Mimi, I'm glad that they are all okay, those officers from San Diego police, but man, families must have been so worried.
Absolutely, and we're so happy to hear that they are all okay. I spoke with San Diego police this morning. They say that they had 15 to 20 off-duty officers there at that music festival, just enjoying their day off when all those gunshots started firing off. They are all accounted for this morning. They are all safe, though, so that is the good news here. But we're hearing that there were dozens of off-duty law enforcement officers from California at this 3-day country music festival. Last night was the final night. Now, the Nevada sheriff says one Las Vegas police officer was among the 50 people killed. One off-duty Los Angeles police officer and one Bakersfield police officer were also shot at the concert but are expected to survive. And in the last half hour, we've also learned that an Orange County sheriff's deputy was severely wounded by those gunshots as well, but he too is expected to survive. But one on-duty Las Vegas officer responding to the shooting was also shot. He was in critical condition, but is now stable after having surgery. Another Las Vegas officer had minor injury. Now, there is a number that people can call to check on their loved ones. That number is 1-866-535-5654. I want to say it one more time, 1-866-535-5654. We're going to continue to monitor the situation all day long. We're live at police headquarters this morning. Mimi Alcala, 10 News.
Mimi, thank you. It was officers and a SWAT team who tracked down the suspect some 3 football fields away at that hotel. And now we're getting new insight into what made this shooting so tragic and so difficult for officers to respond to. Brad Garrett, a former FBI special agent, spoke on Good Morning America.
Virtually every mass shooting is less than 5 minutes. It looks like this one fits that profile. But this guy, because he had multiple weapons, I'm going to guess, was able to get more rounds off than a single weapon that you would have to constantly reload. And he also had cover because he's in this hotel and he's up. He isn't like one of these school shooters or even Omar Mateen, who goes into the Orlando nightclub and is, face to face with people that he's going to shoot. The police can get to that sort of individual potentially quicker.
Let's get to Renee Nelson in the 10 News Live Center, tracking all these new videos coming in overnight. Renee, what are you working on right now?
Well, just seeing what people were going through as they were there at the Mandalay Bay. I mean, I've stayed there. I know you guys have stayed there and on the Strip. This person saying that she was front row at the concert right here, and you can see at moments as the singer steps back and she kind of takes a moment, and that's the end of her video right here. And we're looking at Jason Aldean's concert schedule, and he's in Los Angeles next, then San Diego. Right now, what we're hearing is that let me get you to this. Homeland Security saying that there's no specific or credible threats to any other public venues in the U.S. after this shooting. That's an important thing that we're trying to note here. But we are also learning, and this is that new information that came straight from the sheriff, that shooter had more than 10 guns with him. So in the Live Center, we're getting all of these pieces of information pouring in. We're going to get those to you as soon as we can. Guys?
Yeah, so much new info coming in now, Renee. Thank you so much. Let's send things over to 10 News anchor Mary McKenzie, who's live at Lindbergh Field. So, Mary, the first flight from Vegas into San Diego is expected to land pretty soon, right?
Virginia, the first flight will land just about an hour from now. The woman that we talked to, she's from San Diego. We spoke to her earlier this morning. She was at the concert last night. She'll be on one of those later flights this morning. That is what she heard last night. Kelly says it's just as people always describe. She thought what she and her friends were hearing was fireworks, but quickly law enforcement friends that she was with last night started yelling for people to get down. But they were all out in an open space. They knew eventually they would have to run. Kelly says she was tripping over bodies. One thing that is haunting her also, in the moments before she and her friends moved up, they moved up in the crowd just moments before the shooting began, and a young woman moved right behind them with her group of friends. Kelly says that young girl was shot in the chest.
We're lucky to be alive, every single one of us. It could have been any of us. I mean, we had not moved up a minute before, it could have been us. That poor girl, she must have been 25. And we couldn't even help her because we were just trying to survive ourselves. We tried to put some pressure on it a little bit, but we all just had to get up and run.
So there were some flights that were diverted into Vegas last night, one of them coming here from San Diego. As of right now, all of the traffic in and out of McCarran Airport there in Vegas is open and on time. We're live at Lindbergh Field this morning. Mary McKenzie, 10 News.
You know, Mary, it's like a lot of the people who are able to talk about what they experienced, what they saw, they're numb, that it hasn't even hit them how horrifying this is.
Listening to Kelly this morning, Virginia, I can say, despite some experience with law enforcement friends and close colleagues, she sounded like she was in shock. She admitted as much, and she said that she hasn't been able to sleep. These events have been playing over and over in her mind for hours now, and certainly for the days and months to come.
Yeah, and there's 22,000 people at this concert, and just to think of how one person can change so many lives so quickly. Mary, thank you very much. We sent out this alert on our 10 News app when news of this shooting first broke last night. And if you want to get alerts like this, we're certainly going to continue to send them because there's so much information just coming in by the minute here. We'll certainly do that on our 10 News app.